What's up guys, Techmaster back with another video. So today we're going to be doing a comparison between the M1 MacBook Air 2020 and the 2022 M2 MacBook Air that I have right here. So these are both really good laptops, but the M1 or the M2 MacBook Air is such a solid device. The M1 is okay. If you get it for super cheap, then obviously a great deal. But if you have a little more money, even like $900, and you can get this thing in the used market, totally do that. So compare some of the differences. On the front, the iPad or the MacBook Air, M1 MacBook Air, sorry, can't really talk, has a 13.3-inch Retina display with up to 400 nits of brightness and P3 wide color, all that stuff. The M2 MacBook Air has a much bigger 13.6-inch liquid Retina display with 500 nits of brightness. So it's a much better looking screen, and it has more brightness and better color accuracy, as well as less bezel too. If you compare the bezel, it's pretty big. Look, if you compare the bezel compared to that one, it's definitely a pretty big difference. And yeah, so in terms of the ports, this is where we have a big difference. The MacBook Air M2 has a MagSafe port with 2 USB-C ports and a headphone jack on that side. The M1 version just has 2 good old USB-C ports and a headphone jack right there. And yeah, then on the back, they are pretty much the same. I mean, oh Lord, did I break something? No. On the back though, the M1 or the M2 has a flat design with new like legs, and it's just much more like, I'm already some dust on here. That midnight color definitely brings up fingerprints, but the M1 has a rounded corner, and like it's just not, it has a like a little older design. This design is like really old. This is like almost a 10-year-old design, since like I think the 2016 MacBook started with this kind of bezel-less display. I mean, the MacBook Air hasn't been redesigned until 2018, or was it redesigned until 2018? But yeah, this design is pretty old. This one is actually brand new design since 2021 with the M1 Pro MacBook Pros. That was a really good upgrade with this new design. It's flat, it's got MagSafe, and even on the Pro versions, they have HDMI ports and SD card slots and extra USB-C ports and crazy ass ports. That was crazy. So yeah, anyway, in terms of the outer shell, the M2 MacBook Air is definitely better. In terms of performance, the M2 is also quite a bit better. They both have similar specs. The M2 has up to a 10-core GPU compared to a 7-core GPU on the M1. This is the 8-core GPU version. This is the cheapest one, like I mentioned in the other video. This is the 512GB SSD. So this still has an extra GPU core, and it's 2-year newer processor. But yeah, if you're going to get, obviously if you want it to be a lot faster, then get the 10-core GPU version with the extra storage and RAM. Because again, this is the cheapest one. And this is one of the cheaper MacBook Airs that my brother got when he got his. Now, in terms of the colors, I much prefer the midnight over space gray. Space gray is, in my opinion, is a little outdated color. I mean, it's not outdated, but it's like more of an outdated color, than something like the midnight, which is brand new, came out in 2021 with the, all that stuff. And yeah, but yeah, I love the design of the MacBook Air M2. I think it's really cool with this flat edge and 2 ports and MagSafe, all that stuff. And this MagSafe cable is actually really strong. I can like pull this thing out and it barely even moves, as I just showed you right there. It's a really cool, like before, if you would normally think that like it would come out so easily, which sometimes it can, but if you like do that, but it's very strong. Like I've never seen a MagSafe cable that strong before. It has gotten a little bit less strong, but it's fine. It's all good. Yeah, it still is in there perfectly, and it won't fall out on the new computers. But yeah, in terms of that covers it up there. So I already talked about displays. We've gone over that. But yeah, like I stated before, I think the M2 MacBook Air is a lot better. I'm not going to run performance benchmarks because my brother doesn't have that, and I can't get into his laptop. Oh yeah, and then they both have headphone jack on this side. I've already showed you that before. But yeah, again, I do like the design much better of the M2 MacBook Air. Also, the Apple logo is bigger too. I don't know if you can see This has a much smaller Apple logo compared. I mean, it's obviously the design refresh that kind of gives. I'm getting a lot of fingerprints on this, as you can see, but yeah, this is a bigger Apple logo, to be completely honest. And yeah, but yeah, the M2 MacBook Air is an incredible laptop, in my opinion. Much better than this one. If you can get this one for much cheaper, then obviously do it. But if you're still spending the same amount, then I would definitely go for the M2 because it's a way better device in so many different ways. But yeah, let's see if there's there might be a couple other things to cover. Yeah, I've done price already. So price it for the M2. If you get refurbished models, you can you can buy both of these brand new from Apple. I would definitely not buy the M1 MacBook Air. It's only $100 less than the M2 version, which is way better. I would buy these secondhand if I were you because there's a lot better options out there for even, like there's the 15-inch MacBook Air M2 and the Pros. But yeah, this is about $900. This is about $749. There's a $150 gap, and I will tell you, it's worth spending the extra money on the M2 for many different reasons. Yeah. But yeah, as the reasons I've gone over, I think this is definitely worth spending the extra money on. Especially because, yeah, $900, it's not crazy either. Like, yes, you can get this for $749 or maybe $700, but, like, it's still definitely comparable to, like, you know, not get this one. You can definitely get the other one, you know. So, yeah, I showed the different ports on them. Yeah. And yeah, guys, that pretty much covers it up. Yeah. This was a little bit of a longer video, but 7 minutes, not that bad. But yeah, this pretty much covers up this video, and I'll see you guys around. Peace.